Hello and welcome to Working with Groups of Learners, a faculty development workshop from the Montana State University Billings e-learning team. This is part 1, Tips for the Beginner or Novice Instructor. First, why should we use groups in our classes? Why do group work in college? Well, a study commissioned by the Association of American Colleges and Universities revealed that most employers, 67% of employers, believe that colleges should place more emphasis on teamwork skills and the ability to collaborate with others in diverse group settings. Additionally, there is substantial evidence indicating that students working in groups outperform the highest achieving individual students who are working alone. Higher order thinking skills like analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and problem solving are more likely to be attained by students who collaborate in groups. And collaborative learning has a positive effect on student development in terms of intellectual and practical competencies. So again, why do group work in college? Well, because we know now that group work is important for both academic performance and preparing our students for the workforce. But getting started with groups in a class can seem overwhelming. So what is the first step? How do we get started? Let's see what MSUB's own professor from the College of Communication and Theater, Dr. Melissa Beam, has to say.
So when you're working with groups, one thing that you want to avoid, and I've learned this the hard way, is to just hope that students will know what to do and know how to interact effectively with each other. You have to tell them how to be a good group member, and you have to lay that out for them because a lot of folks won't know, and it's part of our job to teach them that. And I also tell them, many of you might not know this, but when you're in a group, it's so very important to pull your own weight, to make sure that you're helping each other, to ask people for feedback, and to be considerate of one another and one another's time. So for a first-time instructor working in groups, I would tell them that you absolutely have to give each student in the group a role and make them accountable for their task. Researchers also say that it's important to keep the groups small so you decrease the likelihood of social loafing or students relying on others to do the work. So keep the groups small and then explain to the students what their roles are. So I'll start out a class and say, we're going to work in groups today. Each group is going to have a recorder who creates a PowerPoint. Each group will have two researchers who are responsible to find and evaluate proper sources for the question that I'm going to ask. And there's going to be someone who's a timekeeper or someone to maintain focus of the group. So when the group gets off topic, they need to make sure to bring them back to it. And then there will be a presenter, someone who presents it all to the class at the end. And you can do that online as well. You can delineate those roles. But if you are using groups for the first time, don't be afraid, but make sure that you help the students to succeed by giving each student a clearly defined role and making each student accountable. Always stay engaged. Don't expect the groups to work on their own. I think groups work really well when you're checking in on a regular basis.
Thanks, Dr. Beam. Let's take a look at some group roles that can be assigned both in person and online. First, a leader or facilitator. This person manages the group to ensure all members participate effectively and stay on task, working towards the group's shared end goal. A recorder keeps track of main ideas and concepts, while a reporter shares the group's work with the instructor and the rest of the class. Additional group roles can include a timekeeper, cheerleader, harmonizer, devil's advocate, and even a materials handler who could be in charge of compiling necessary documents and handing in or uploading the group's final products. Now that we have made groups and assigned roles, how do we get learners to collaborate? How do we create collaboration? Research says we must first define the challenge. What is the goal of working together? What is the desired outcome for the group of learners? Then we must define the collaborators by selecting group members and assigning roles. In order for collaboration to occur, there must be a shared space or platform for communication between group members and between group members and the instructor. We must provide or create this space for students, or direct them on how to create their own shared space. Next, we must allow time for the process to play out. This could be minutes or weeks, depending on the scope of the project. Let the groups do their work, but remember to stay engaged in the process as their instructor. And finally, we must harness the results of the group's work. This could mean oral presentations in front of the class, writing papers, or uploading multimedia presentations online. To end part 1 of this workshop, MSUB's Dr. Cindy Dell, Professor and Chair of the College of Education, provides a few more tips for creating a successful group experience. Remember to provide that all-important platform for communication and collaboration. For example, D2L has a chat tool built into each class. Groups can create, edit, and share Google Docs. Members can have synchronous meetings via apps like Cisco WebEx and Google Hangouts. Even blogs and social media can connect group members outside of the classroom. And finally, remember to keep the groups small. No less than 3 members per group and no more than 6. With that magic number of 4 to 5, group members are more likely to form a learning community and thus enhance their learning experience and outcomes. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.